Hey, what's the deal, y'all? It's your boy Big Star Raw Sports. RawSports.tv is the website. Raw Sports Films is the YouTube channel. If you're watching this tonight and you're not following the Instagram page, make sure you follow me. What up, Big OC? It's about to go down tonight, man. We got the legend that's still going to be jumping on with us, man. My man SCHEA COTTON, man. It's definitely going to be a classic, man. AJ Hogarth, man, got the young legends in the building, man. Future legends. AJ, listen, if you have a second, man, please, AJ, listen. Make sure you stay tuned in for a little bit, man. Listen to a little bit of my man SCHEA COTTON's story, man. I guarantee you're going to be locked in, man. You're definitely going to enjoy it, man. This is what it's all about, man. You know, educating the younger generation, bringing the legends on, man, to share their story so that, you know, some of the younger guys can learn from their path, man. It's you know, bringing everybody together, man. That's what it's all about, man. So tonight, we got my man SCHEA COTTON, who played at MATER DEI High School. I mean, you know, if you talk to, like, on the West Coast and just, you know, some of the best players in the country from the, you know, mid-'90s, late 90s, early 2000s, all that kind of stuff, you know, some of the biggest players of that time, if you talk to them about who, you know, some of their favorite, who their favorite player was, you know, a lot of them would mention SCHEA COTTON, man. Definitely a legend. Your favorite player's favorite player, you know. A lot of the research that I did online, they actually mentioned him and label him as being like, you know, the LeBron James before LeBron James, with his size, his athleticism, and everything that he was able to do, man. Freak athlete, definitely way before his time, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get my man SCHEA on here in a minute. He's going to tell his story. And he actually, he's going to talk more about it as well. He actually has a documentary about his life. It's called Manchild. It's actually available now on all the, you know, digital platforms, streaming platforms, downloads, all that kind of stuff like iTunes. It actually, you know, recently dropped. So he's going to talk a little bit about that. His story is definitely dynamic, man. It's a lot that went on with this brother. You know, like internally, injuries, and just, you know, all kinds of stuff, man. So also, if you've been paying attention to the Legends Week series, you can catch all the previous episodes on the website, rawsports.tv, and on Raw Sports Films on YouTube. The episodes from this week, Monday we have my man Heidi Hart on Cheltenham High School. I'm actually in the process of uploading that. And last night, if you missed last night, I had my man Kareem Reed on from St. Raymond's, played at Arkansas and pro and all that kind of stuff, man. That was dynamic. That was crazy. I mean, amazing storytellers we're having on for Legends Week, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. These guys, I'm amazed at how some of these guys remember this stuff like it happened yesterday. So that's what it's been, man. That's what it's been with these guys, you know, telling these stories, you know, reliving these memories, going down memory lane, man. It's definitely been amazing. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, SCHEA, he's told his story tons of times before, so I'm sure he's going to fit that mold of a great storyteller, and it's going to be very, very entertaining. If you can, share this live, share this, because this is definitely going to be a special one. You know, any young ballers, I see I got my man Manir Weiler on, AJ Hogarth was on. Share this with some young ballers, man. You guys definitely need to hear his story. Where you guys are right now, you know, you guys are in high school or, you know, about to make that jump, you know, going to college, you know, regardless of the whole pandemic, you know, kind of thing, you know, putting a pause on some things. But regardless of that, you know, you guys are headed in the direction of where these guys were already, you know, through their ups, through their downs, through their successes and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot that you guys can learn from these guys, them hearing their stories. Last night, Kareem was talking about, you know, all the things that led him to choosing Arkansas, you know, the do's and don'ts when choosing schools, the things that you need to consider. It's a lot of gems that are being dropped, you know, during these Legends Week, you know, videos. So, you know, make sure you guys are, you know, taking notes, you know, when the legends are speaking, man. Because you guys are, you know, trying to play at the highest level, college-wise, trying to play at the highest level, you know, professionally, overseas, and NBA, all that kind of stuff. These are the guys that you definitely need to listen to. You know, y'all need to hear their stories, man, to, you know, prevent you guys, you know, prevent any, you know, potential pitfalls or anything like that. So, all right, so I'm pretty much all talked out. We're going to wait for my man SCHEA COTTON to get on. Any questions that you guys have for SCHEA, if anybody knows anything about him, you know, and was curious about anything, We definitely want to have a Q&A. And what I was doing last night with my man Kareem Reed is, if you have questions that go along with the flow of the conversation, I'm not even going to wait. I'm gonna just, I'll just throw your, mention you and throw your question right on this, throw your question right at Shay, and he'll just answer right there on the spot. So don't necessarily have to wait until the end for the Q&A. So, but as long as your question goes along with the flow of the conversation, we're not talking about college, and you're like, yo, who's the best player you played in middle school? Just make sure the questions goes along with the flow of the conversation, and that's that. Also, something that I wanted to do, I'll probably do it afterwards, and kind of do it pretty much on a daily basis. But if it's anybody that you guys want to consider, want to endorse, or want me to possibly reach out to, somebody that you think will fit the mold for Legends Week. Send me some recommendations. If it's guys that 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 haven't been on yet, obviously, guys that locally, nationally, that you think will definitely qualify as legends, and you want to definitely see them on see them be interviewed by me. Want to see them on the show. Send me some recommendations. I'm taking recommendations. Tracy Murray for sure. Yeah, any recommendations, send them my way. Majority of these guys are on social media, so it's been a blessing, being able to reach out to them and get in contact with guys, and all the legends, all these individuals like Kareem Reed, Donnie Carr, certain guys have, been able to, like Donnie Carr is in particular, have been able to, support me and helping me to get in contact with other individuals. Oh, definitely Danielle Marshall. That's my man. I definitely got Danielle on my list to get him on Legends Week, man. I 100% got Danielle. Danielle, tons of people, man. Tons of individuals. I definitely got him on my list. My list is crazy because we got so many, so many legends, man. We want to see what the delay is with my man SCHEA COTTON. If I have to, I may just end this if I need to. I'll wait a few more seconds. But if I need to, I may just end this, and y'all just jump right back on when y'all see that I went live again, because I may possibly need to get in contact with Shay just to make sure we all good. But once we, y'all know the format, man. Once we start and once we get going, it's pretty much gonna be a wrap, man. Also, one other thing, so what the format, what I'm gonna do is, after this week is complete. Oh, all right, that was my man SCHEA COTTON. That was the little pause. Hey Shay, if you're watching this right now, jump on my page and hold up. Maybe I'll send it to him. I think that's the delay. I'm gonna send this live to Shay. See if we can get him on. Give me 1 second. All right, Shay, he just tried to get in contact with me via calling me, but calling me through Instagram. So I just sent him the live video, so hopefully he receives it. And all right, here we go. I see SCHEA COTTON just joined, and it's about to go down. All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
What's going on, baby?
Manchild in the building. What's good, dog?
Good, man. How you feeling, man? I'm in the car making moves. Pardon my delay. Just been a hectic day.
Listen, it's okay, man. That gave me some time to kind of, do a little preview. You know what I'm saying? I was able to give out some information and everything. So I'm on your time, man.
I appreciate it.
Perfect is, time is definitely perfect. I'm in your world, man. Hey, listen, tell the people where you at right now. You on the west side, man?
Yeah, man. I'm in the beach, man. Strong Beach. I'm out here in Long Beach, so just making moves. Just handling some business. So it's just pushing the project more than anything, man. We're really excited about this time. Getting a great response on my IG, especially. I deal with that personally at SCHEA COTTON, so I get a lot of DMs and a lot of really positive feedback. So I'm really excited and encouraged about, the opportunities to come moving forward.
No doubt. I see some, look like I see some palm trees in the background. Just had to set the stage, let the people
Yeah,
know where we was at, man.
yeah, that's it, man. Live and direct, born and raised. So
I know that's right. Hey, well, I just want to preface real quick, man, before we get into it. First, I just want to thank you in advance. I can't say thank you enough just for the opportunity to, you've told your story. You got the movie, got the documentary and everything. But I thank you for still, allowing me to carve this time out to let my audience hear from you directly. Let me go back and forth with you, man. Two things here with Legends Week, I really like to stress and are my goals. I never want, no matter what happens in your lifetime, I just want to do my part to never allow people to forget about SCHEA Cotton. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do my part to help to solidify your legacy and to never let people forget your contribution to the game. That's the first thing. And two, with this younger generation, some kids may walk past you in the gym and may not know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just want to do my part to bridge the gap and to remind these younger kids, like, no, that's the guy. Where you're trying to get right now, ask him questions. That he's been there. You know what I'm saying? So, I have a large following of younger athletes, from right now. So I really like them to kind of watch these Legends Week, stories, hear from guys like you, just to pay homage, man.
Absolutely.
And to do the knowledge, man. So thank you so much. That's pretty much that, man. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a quick game I call 10 random questions.
Okay.
And then also, what do you want to do? You want to give a little. You want to talk about the just give a little preview. You want to plug the documentary real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, plug the documentary, man. Talk about it.
All right, Manchild's a story about a Los Angeles childhood prodigy that was a can't miss to go to the NBA. That wasn't drafted, and his career has been pretty much an enigma. And I don't know. Everybody has their own interpretation of it, but until you watch the actual Manchild documentary itself, I think it's not going to be what you think it is. Let me say that. The idea is to inspire people and to educate at the same time. And it's a story of resilience. You just, no matter how you get knocked down 7, you get up 8. In a long story short, it's available right now on iTunes, Amazon, all platforms. You can buy it, you can rent it, just where you can find any other movies.
No doubt. And what's just like you said, what's been the response so far? Just from the people online, social media, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's been solid. I think a lot of people maybe that have known me over the years didn't realize a lot of the stuff that I actually went through. So, it's been just like an overwhelming response of just encouragement, love, and inspiration, and just a respect level because they're seeing pieces of me that a lot of people never knew about. So, I kind of walked away from the game when things didn't work out when I retired. It just focused on the youth. So how could I make a bigger impact? And then the documentary came about with my production crew, Our True Group, which is a Long Beach-based company, and my guy Eric Patar Herbert, who's the director, producer on it. He was a fan of mine and was a part of my fan club, not even realize it until later I finished. So, life evolves and God works in mysterious ways, man. And I'm just excited about the man that I am today, the heart that I have for kids. I'm really excited about people seeing it. I mean, I just want people to see it and spread the word.
No doubt. Well, you definitely got my word, man. You have my platform. I've definitely been plugging it, promoting it, and I'm definitely going to, just help to push it, as much as I can, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right. So without further ado, 10 random questions. I'm gonna just throw 10 random things at you. Have some fun, just kind of warm us up. All right. So favorite car. I was born in 77. You born in 78. So we kind of came from the same era. 80s, all that kind of stuff. So what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
You broke up. What'd you say?
We have this. Yeah, your favorite cartoon growing up.
My favorite cartoon growing up, man, it's a twist. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was big on Tom and Jerry. I Flintstones. I mean, Voltron.
Gotcha.
It goes on and on. I like certain ones in our generation, and then after I think it changed. So, that'd probably be the top 5. I say 5 or 6.
Got you. All right. Hey, also just want to mention, it seemed like because you're driving, the reception may go in and out. So, if it gets to a point where you actually can't hear me or it breaks down bad, just exit and then just come back to my page and just start. Just I'll send you send me another request, and we'll just start it over. All right. Hey, y'all, as y'all see, he's driving currently, so we definitely gonna get it done. I figured, since he was driving, the reception was, possibly gonna be an issue. But we definitely gonna get it done, man. So, just like I said, y'all know the format. We're gonna, go through, him telling his story, and toward the end, we're gonna have a nice little Q&A. Let him go back and forth with the people, allow you guys to ask, him some questions directly. So hopefully, see if we can get him back on here. See my little bro join, Reese. Got Reese on Instagram. If you're just tuning in, all right, we got him back. Here we go.
Yeah,
Hey,
can you
we
hear me?
good? Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear you. Yeah, I
perfect.
knew being though you're driving, it may the reception may go up and down, but we'll
Right.
just, you can just exit, come back just like you did. We'll get it done.
Okay.
All right. So most points scored in the game at any level, like high school, college, anything, summer league, anything.
Well, AAU in high school, 40 apiece. I think I was playing against Lamar Odom, and then I tore my shoulder my sophomore summer. Excuse me, my junior summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I had 38 and 3/4, so I wasn't finished, obviously. So I definitely say that game. My
Yeah.
12th birthday, growing up, I dropped 40. I had a lot of 30-plus games, but it wasn't so much the numbers, man. It was the way I scored my buckets that
No
I think
doubt. No
what
doubt.
people still talk about.
No doubt, no doubt. Are there any players over the last, like decade or few years that have kind of, gave you glimpses of yourself, kind of reminded you of yourself, if that's a fair, kind of way to put it?
Yeah, great question.
Hey, Shay, if you can hear me, it's breaking up again. The reception is
Yeah,
is kind
I
of
can hear
bad.
you. I can hear you now. I can hear you
Are you can
now.
hear me? All
Yeah,
right. So repeat what you said. I think you said LeBron James and
yeah,
Zion Williamson. Is that what you said?
right. LeBron James and Zion Williamson, as of late, I think because of physical prowess and the level of athleticism.
Got you, got you, got you. Favorite sports related movie of any era? Just one of your favorite sports related movies.
I'd probably say Hoop Dreams, Blue Chips.
Yes, definitely two classics. Um, who were some local players, like some either one of your peers growing up, or somebody that may have been a couple years older than you, somebody that you may have admired coming up, basketball wise, somebody that
Around my way growing up in the LA Harbor area, I would have to say Joy Johnson, who was Dennis Johnson's, the late great Dennis Johnson, rest in peace, was his brother. I mean, he had a 50-inch vertical. He had the Guinness
wow,
Book of World Records high jump record. I think he jumped like 12 feet or something crazy. So, when I was a kid growing up, he was like a big deal to me. A guy in my area in San Pedro where I started at, Mike Sestic, was a Croatian guy, Yugoslavian, and he played at our local high school. And, we thought he was like really, really big at that time. And then, I got to the point when I turned 12 or 13, I was training with my brother all the time, so that helped me a lot. But then we're in the gym working out with the likes of Ed O'Bannon, you know, Tom Lewis that played at USC and LMU around the Hank Gathers time, was a Philly guy, Philly native.
mm-hmm.
He was on that
Yeah,
SC
yeah,
team
yeah.
with Hank and Bo before they left. So, you know, these guys in my era, Stevie Thompson that went to Syracuse, played at Crenshaw. I used to work out with these guys day in and day out. I played against, some of the best NBA players in their prime at UCLA with Magic Johnson running in the men's gym, and I'm 15 years old. So,
Wow.
my life changed when I went to Sports Illustrated. I was already ranked nationally. ESPN had me several times. They had plenty of my backstory along the way. I mean, I had a lot of exploitation I didn't see any money. I wasn't taking any money. So I want people to understand that about my story. I did it the right way and it didn't work out. And I was the number one
Hmm.
player in the country. So if it happened to me, it could happen to anyone.
Got you, got you. What were some other, or were there any other sports that you played growing up
I
besides
started out playing
basketball?
baseball. I played baseball early, probably 10, 11 years old. Got bored with it. I was nice. I was a right fielder, could hit, could field, a little wild, throwing the rock, throwing the ball. So I started to get bored because I wasn't getting a lot of action in the outfield. It was on the infield when they were younger. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
said, let me pick up this rock. I would be messing around with it, on the playground and at lunch and stuff like a lot of the other kids. But I was better than some of them. I just had my heart in baseball. I got bored with it, picked up the
Got you.
basketball around 11 and a half, turning 12, and I never looked back. I mean, instantly gravitated to it. I had like a natural feel with a drive. I worked hard. I played with a chip. I never backed down. So I think that's what people still talk about today, man. And I think the more kids see this, the better, because it's not about where you come from. It's where
Mhm.
you at in your heart and what's your intention. How bad are you willing to work for something and how much you willing to sacrifice to get it.
No doubt, no doubt. Who were what NBA players inspired? Who's some of your favorite NBA? One of your favorite NBA players coming up?
Growing up, grandmama, LJ,
No
Larry
doubt,
Johnson. Yeah,
no doubt.
I love the way he approached the game. I respected Jordan. My favorite player was Ron Harper, though, in the
Uh huh.
Cleveland years before he tore his knees up. So,
Got you,
you
got
know,
you.
Jordan, can you see me all right? We got a
Yeah,
lot of
you're
sunshine.
good.
Let me
You're
see.
perfect. You're perfect. You're good.
Yeah, but that was my biggest dude that I like to watch play because he had an arsenal of moves. And Jordan talked
Hmm.
about it and said he had a plethora of moves. He was the toughest guy to guard. So in that era, I would say Harp. I liked LJ. I really loved Magic. Growing up in LA with the Showtime era. I mean, I would go to games and I saw what Magic did and his charisma and everything. It's just unbelievable what
Yeah.
he's done as a businessman.
Got you, got you. Now, just out of curiosity, from your perspective, and you've been around, you played basketball around the world, so in high
Right.
school, all that kind of stuff. Does the West Coast necessarily have a different style of basketball than, say, like New York, Philly, Chicago? Does the West Coast have a different style, or no? Or basketball is just universal in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's universal, but I think everybody has their way of doing things. It's like, you out west, you do things like you out west. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna go to Philly and move like I'm in LA. I mean, I'm gonna take what I've learned here and
yeah,
incorporate that with my connections that I have in Philly.
yeah.
And a lot
Got
of guys I got love for, I'm close to, like Donnie Carr, who's a Philly native, a legend out of Philly, played at
you. Yes.
Roman Catholic LaSalle. I mean, he averaged 30
Shout
and
out to
8 10
Donnie. He
as a
just
freshman.
jumped on.
That
Donnie
part,
just jumped
yeah,
on. Yeah.
that part. That I want more of that language. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
we go back. Donnie, remember what I did to Kobe in the NBA Players Camp in '95? So
No doubt.
yeah, they don't have that footage. I look for it. They told me they didn't have it. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
go figure. The documentary could be even more powerful if they got a chance
Yes,
to see
yes,
that. So
yes.
no, but it's love, man. Rest in peace. Kobe was my toughest one-on-one matchup. I
Wow.
got nothing for love for him forever. I think we have a lifelong bond. Every time I saw him after the time we played, it was always love. So I
No
send
doubt.
condolences to his family in this time.
No doubt. All right, 80s movies. You being on the West Coast, did you prefer Breaking over Beach Street or what?
I rock with both. You know what I
No
mean?
doubt.
Yeah. I mean, when I was coming up, I love Pac, but I love Big too. So just to tell you, like,
No doubt.
yeah, you ain't gonna get that East-West thing here.
No
Like,
doubt.
it's
No
where the
doubt.
heart is at, man.
I got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Last thing of the 10 random questions. Of all time, your favorite West Coast rap group
Uh,
or artist, anything.
that's a great question. Of all time, favorite rap group artist. Man, that's a tough one. I'd
Or,
have to
or
probably
throw
I
out some
had
of
to
your
say
favorites.
Snoop Dogg. I had to say
Snoop
Snoop
Dogg.
Dogg. Yeah, I
No
had to
doubt.
take
No
Keep It
doubt.
in Long Beach. Yeah, the
No, no,
Dog
that's
Pound.
right.
Yeah, the Dog Pound, because we had Pac and everybody in house at one point.
Yes, yes, for real. For real. All right, well, enough, man. Just want to get right to it. How I like to do it. Obviously, I have some questions, but I just want to give you the freedom to just
Okay.
kind of tell your story, just do your thing your way. So just go by way of just start us out with just letting the people know where the SCHEA Cotton story begins, man, and just go from there.
SCHEA Cotton story begins in San Pedro in the LA Harbor area. Humble beginnings. My family worked hard. My father was a contractor, had his own construction company and trucking company as well. My mother ran the books. They worked together, and they raised me and my brother James, my older brother, to be hardworking people, law-abiding citizens of integrity and strong men of faith and character. So I feel like they accomplished that. My life changed at some point when I chose to play basketball right around 11 years old. From that point on, I played basketball for 19 years around the clock, and developed a name that they call the Manchild, and somebody today that is a force to be reckoned with, because my heart is for the youth. It's not for, it's not for myself as much as, as it was at that time. So this documentary that we've created is much more than basketball. I think it just shows resilience that everybody can glean to, because we all need it when we go through adversity in life. And, I didn't get here by anybody helping me get here. A lot of my peers that I thought was close to me let me bleed out, along the way. And I thought I was going to get some help. I was struggling, scratching and clawing, just trying to stay afloat, like in quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody really stepped up, with the exception of somebody that I came out with that played ball in the LA area, made it to the NBA from LA, Seattle by way. And I don't want to say any names. I don't want to put him out there, but he knows that I love him for his contribution, because he reached back when everybody else left me for dead. So,
Uh-huh.
it's by God's grace and the drive that's burning inside of me right now is the reason why I'm here. Because when you watch the documentary, you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying right now. So it's important for people to see it. Yeah.
No doubt. At what, like, when did you, at what point did you realize that you were pretty good, or starting to be a little bit better than your peers, basketball wise? And did you have like were you just so physically gifted that like you were going to be destined to jump high, or did you work at that, or, what I'm saying? Like, explain that.
Yeah. I think right around 11 years old, I started noticing the difference. I just had a different tenacity, the way I approached the game. I took it serious. Like, I was locked in from the beginning. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
this going to keep me off the street, keep me from getting locked up, getting shot and all that. Yeah, I saw all my folks going through the system and this and that. They in the film too. So, this is a real story, man. This ain't that
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood, let's paint it to look a certain.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
what it is. This is
Mm-hmm.
what really happened. You want
Yep.
to know the truth? Buy it, rent it, sit down, enjoy it, learn something from it. That's all I ask. I'm not looking for no pat on the back or none of that. I'm not doing this for fame, man. This is for the kids. I don't want this to happen to no one else's kid, because it's hard living in these shoes, even today. Like, I fight every day. I live with myself in the mirror. Just the
Mm-hmm.
idea that, I lost 200 million that I'll never get back, that I didn't get the break that the next man got. And I
Yeah.
was better than that man. So
Mm-hmm.
now I had to diversify that energy and harness that into the kids, into the youth, and everything positive. Like,
Mm-hmm.
something that's bigger than myself. So when I'm gone, I'll live forever.
No
That's
doubt.
my whole mentality.
No doubt. Describe, for the younger players who didn't get a chance to see you, or be go on YouTube, see things. Describe your game. During your high school days, college, and all that, what were some of your strengths? Things you did well on the court.
One of the quickest jab steps around. I could elevate. I could get to the rim from the three with one dribble and finish on centers or whomever. I had the mid range. I had the three ball. I could handle it. I could pass. I could defend and keep people in front of me. I could meet you at the rim and clean your ball, whatever I need to do. Like, yeah, I did what I wanted to do on the floor, because I paid my dues in my training. And then I
Good.
had the courage to show the ability, that God gave me consistently. I think that's what makes people good and great. That's the difference.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, so take me back. Take me back. One of the things that I really love to hear whenever I have had like my man Donnie Carr, just like yourself, great storyteller, and they remember everything like it happened yesterday.
Right.
Take me back to, because growing up, the West Coast was completely different. Like, you guys have different playground legends that we may not have heard of out here,
Right.
different summer
Right.
leagues, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So what take me back to your summer league days, like during high school or college. Like, tell me about the summer leagues, some of the players, some of the memories, anything about the summer leagues, man.
Man, Slam and Jam, absolutely. Rest in peace, Izzy Washington. Everybody in LA came through Slam and Jam. I don't care. Even the East Coast guys, Philly, DC, Baltimore, New York, they know. They remember that Long Beach NIT every summer was the
Yeah.
biggest thing
Yeah.
before all these sneaker companies started pulling their guys away and running
Yes.
their own events. It was
Yes.
the biggest thing that they had. He had probably 350 teams nationally coming in
Wow.
every summer to Long Beach State, playing in the gold mine before they had the pyramid. Packed it out. That's where I put on the show at. I had
Was it
38 against
indoor or
Lamar
outdoor?
Odom.
Indoor?
Indoor. And we look forward to that all through high school. That was our high school experience. I
Yes.
saw Antoine Walker come through there out of Chicago. We saw a lot of guys. The Philly brought teams. Baltimore brought teams. DC, they had Mike Gill. They brought out Victor Page. That's my
Wow.
man. Both of them. I want to shout out to Victor Page and Mike Gill. Ed Sheffy, that's my guy too. I mean, I go on and on, man. Like, I went
Wow.
bi-coastal with my game, so
Yes.
it didn't matter. Like, they knew LA after I left. They knew LA. Let me say that. They thought we were soft and we just shoot jump shots and don't play no defense, whatever. Well, I dispelled that rumor.
No
You know, I
doubt.
went to prep school and did my thing at St. Thomas More, and ESPN came up and did a story. So I was leading knapsack and scoring, and I wasn't from the tri-state area. So I want people to understand, like, there's tough individuals all over the world. So don't be caught up in them cities and where you're from and all of that, because you'll miss a diamond in the rough.
100%. Yeah. Who are some of the like is there any specific memory, something that people still talk about to this day from that summer league, something that happened that you remember that people will never forget? Anything that comes to mind?
I think just the show that I put on against Lamar and Khalid El-Amin squad, the Long Island Panthers, that was coached by Gary Charles, had Tavares Bell, my man from Long Island. Shout out to
Yeah,
Tavares. He was
crazy.
on the team too. Yeah, he used to fly for a little while too. Now he used to University of Rhode Island, but having that 38 against them at that time when Biggie and Pac was at the height of their beef, and all of that exchanging with the artillery and everything, and it was a tense gym, to say the least. And I put on a show, and it's like I united our city in that moment, plus everybody in the gym. Lamar did his thing, Tavares was doing his thing, but at that point, it was me. I mean, that's what this is about. Like, people need to see. This is pre-social media. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have Twitter. None of that.
Exactly.
I hit ESPN at 11 and 12. Why are we talking about, this one got a sneaker deal or this one got a T-shirt line and all that in high school? That's cool. And you got 800,000 followers. They got more followers than me. They got me beating that category because I didn't have social media when I played. If I would have had what these kids have now, I would have broke the internet. And I would have been dropping 60. It was easy then. It would have been even easier now because they don't play defense. Everything is technical and corporate.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, that one thing you just mentioned of how you brought people together, like, with the West Coast, with the gangs and all that kind of stuff. Like, how important was basketball, especially high school basketball, summer leagues, as far as like bringing the community together? It seemed like when people would come in the gym, everybody like everybody's locked in on hoops. People kind of set their differences aside. Is that kind of the thing as far as the power that the game had? Is something that you
for the most part, sometimes it spill over into the gym too. It just depends on where you at. I mean, this thing is real out here, man. Don't get it twisted. Like, the palm trees behind me look beautiful, but when the nightfall hits, it's a different city. So you got to dress accordingly. Just know that. But for me, basketball saved my life. When you see my documentary, you'll understand. I got cousins that did real time in the pen on the 4-yard. That's all murderers. Okay, people that did time. They did what they did when they was growing up, because maybe that was their reality. That's the life they chose, and they rose to McDonald's All-American in the streets. And that's what some of my folks did. And I love them dearly, just the same. We all people. Everybody's trying to do the best that they can to survive and get ahead and take care of their kids and leave something more for them than we had. So this documentary, it's not really about me. I mean, I'm putting my life on the canvas, and it's like I'm putting myself out there for people to criticize and say whatever, but I don't care. Like, I'm comfortable in my skin. I buried the hatchet of not making the NBA and all of that probably like 3 years back. I gave my life to the Lord a long time ago. So
no doubt.
My life is not my own. It's about the cause. You know what I mean? Like, what's your intention? Why do you do what you do? Money will follow anything that is consistently successful.
Yep. That's a fact. It's definitely a fact. I appreciate that, Jim. All right, so take us into high school. Talk about your high school career, however you want to talk about it. Memories, accomplishments, rivals, players you played against. Just break down your high school experience.
Man, well, the AAU circuit was really where I had a ball. Through the high school years. My favorite times in high school, though, was playing at MATER DEI. We had a real team, and we were a family. And the timing and everything, the stars were aligned. I still communicate with my coach, Gary McKnight. Shout out to Coach Gary McKnight right now. The most winningest coach in California history. They're probably going to stay that way. So, they'll always have a special place in my heart. And, my AAU stuff, I think, is where a lot of my memories are outside of the high school, pinnacles, like winning the state title. But the AAU was like where I saw Kobe Bryant, playing in the NBA Players Camp as a sophomore. The same summer that we won the state title, the same summer I was CIF State Player of the Year and John Wooden Player of the Year. It's never been done since.
Gotcha.
So for me, it was like playing against the guys out of New York, playing against DC, playing against Baltimore, touching Philly. I want to see what that's like. I was
That's
just
right.
intrigued because everybody was looking at them as they was better than us.
Mm-hmm.
LA wasn't reputable then. They wasn't respecting us then. Okay,
Gotcha.
I'm telling you 100. Like every
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the writers East Coast bias and every blah blah blah. I heard that till the cows came home coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, we're gonna see when they line it up against me.
No
And
doubt.
that's where I was at. And yeah,
No
may the
doubt.
best man win. Some
No
some
doubt.
some games maybe not as successful, but always made a mark. You know what I mean? And I think I played for the competitiveness. It wasn't so much about like money and all of that. It was like, man, I love this. This is keeping me off the street. I see like the horror stories like that I got to deal with within my family, like decisions being made. I
Uh-huh.
didn't want that life. I'm like, I want more, man. Like
Gotcha.
it's a whole nother world out there. This basketball had taken me to like 15 states by the time I turned 14.
Got you, got you. Give me some AAU memories. Like you talked about playing against AAU camps and all that kind of stuff. What are some of your most memorable experiences that you remember? Dominant games, anybody you played against, anything?
Probably Nike camp playing, I'm about to line up against, on the other side of the court, I got Kevin Garnett and Ron Mercer and, some other guys on their starting five. And then on my team, I think we had most of a California team. I think Chris Burgess was on that squad, and I had Chris Owens from Texas, a couple other players. But just the matchups, I mean, and the intensity of every play, like guys just giving it all. They not giving up an inch on defense and being stingy at the rim. And you got to really want a bucket. You know what I mean? So Nike camp, 3 years in a row, going from the Chicago Bulls training center, playing against KG there, us all connected and everybody mixing mingling, Vince Carter being there, all these big names, Kareem Reed, Felipe Lopez playing against him in the Fab 40 in high school. I'm like a
Wow,
freshman. All these guys
crazy,
upperclassmen in Beaverton.
crazy.
Yeah, Beaverton, Oregon. I mean, Felipe was unreal in high school. Shout out to Felipe, my Dominican brother. So there's so many levels to it. Like watching Kareem Reed play, he had the fastest in and out crossover. I mean, he come at you full speed and hit you, and there's nothing you can do. Like, shout out to my man Reem. We played with each other in the USBL. Pennsylvania Valley Dogs. We played in.
Wow.
I played in Allentown
Yes,
with
yes,
Daryl
yes,
Dawkins. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I
yes.
was up there. So shout out to them. So, for me, it was like playing against Kobe was my toughest one-on-one matchup. Next to
Okay.
him was Meta World Peace because he was defensive like pest, and he wouldn't give up. That was like his bread and butter. So
Yeah.
I had
So,
to really
talk
work.
about those. Talk about those two real quick. Talk about the Kobe experience going against him, and then talk about Meta World Peace because they're two completely different players.
Right, right, right. Well, playing against Kobe, I had heard about him going in. I was already nationally known, so I was coming in to the NBPA camp. We had already won a state title, so I was on a high, had a lot of confidence. And we had words the day before. We were all in the cafeteria eating, and they were giving me a hard time about being from the West and guys are soft out of the West, blah blah blah. So I had an exchange of words for him, but I'm not gonna get into that. At the
No
end of the
doubt.
day, I just
No
told
doubt.
him, I said, listen, we'll see what's up tomorrow.
No doubt.
So when we lined up, I did everything I needed to do. I gave him everything he could handle, and then some. Physically, he couldn't handle me, and as far as athletically, he wasn't ready for me. Skill wise, he wasn't there yet. So on
Mhm.
that day, I was better. My team won because of that. Me and him formed a lifelong bond. May
Yeah.
he rest. May he rest in peace, because he'd go down to one of the best ever. Let alone one of the best Lakers.
100%. Yep. And then Meta World Peace. What was that? Because I heard stories about him, his physicalness, his defense. What was it like going against him back then?
Meta was a pest, man. He was known as Ron then. They used to say ticking time bomb, whatever have you, but none of that stuff mattered to me. I always said, whoever lines up in front of me, I got to give him my best. So, his defensive prowess, his physical side of it. We were playing against each other in Boston Shootout. I can remember. This is back then when it was big. Dunkin' Donuts was a sponsor. We played in the Boston Garden, and
Gotcha.
it was packed out. I think it was the Fleet Center at that time. We had a game. I think it was at BU, Boston University, or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And me and Meta was guarding each other. He was coming down the court with the rock, and I was guarding him at half court. And I beat him to the spot and was going to take a charge. And he just kind of like bulldozed me with his shoulder and like kind of bruised my sternum. I thought I cracked my chest, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And like playing through it and giving people work, playing hurt. I had broke my nose in the game playing against Toby Bailey, still dropped him off. At the end, I still came back and finished and won a CIF title that year. But playing against Meta, was different because I knew defense was like his go-to. He wasn't like he scored, but he really got off on locking you up. He didn't want you to score. You know, so my whole intention was like, let me see if I can get 25 to 30 on him.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. Just out of curiosity, how did you manage? I mean, it was a lot going on in the world. This is before YouTube, no social media. You know, the big things were like what still at USA Today, or you know what I'm saying, getting right
Parade magazine. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So how did you you say you had who did you say came to you and did a story on you? Was it
ESPN?
ESPN. So how are you managing that type of like social media success before social media, like just all that attention being young? How were you managing that in your mind? Were you still humble? Like, how would you stay? Would you staying grounded? Like how were you managing all that attention?
Yeah, my parents, my mother and father raised two men, you know, that accountability and integrity. I think, you know, for me, it was all about doing it to the best of my ability. My father always told me, if you're gonna be a trash man, be the best trash man. You know, there is. Like, it don't matter what you do, be the best at it. So that was my intention all the way through. The notoriety and exposure that came, but it really like it took my independence away. I had no private life no more. So that's what it really did. I had to be completely locked in all the way through. I had to be completely locked in. You know, in the media attention, it was there. I knew it was around. What drove me was the competitive side. It wasn't the lights and the camera. It's like when it came on, oh, I'm really going to show out now because everybody's coming to see me do my thing. All right, I'm going to show them that what they coming to see that and then some, you know.
Got you. So I was doing some research. So you went to Long Beach City College prior to Alabama, correct?
Right.
So tell me about that. Bridge the gaps between those experiences, like what led to Long Beach City, and then what led to you ultimately choosing Alabama as the place for you.
Well, without giving too much of the information of the story, basically, from Long Beach City College came after prep school.
Okay.
Because my test score was being questioned, you know, still from the NC2A. And I committed to NC State.
Gotcha.
So when that didn't work out, we severed ties out of prep school. And then I wound up choosing Long Beach City. I came home. I said, well, I'm going to just stay home, play a year at JUCO, reopen up my recruiting process, which I did. We won like 33-1 before we even lost more than one game. We won like 30, 31, 32 games in a row.
Gotcha.
It had never been done. So I was leading the JUCO and scoring and all that stuff. And I wound up choosing Alabama out of junior college, going into SEC, playing for Mark Gottfried, who coached at UCLA with Jim Herrick. They recruited me since I was basically in middle school.
Gotcha.
And you know, these are milestones, man. I want people to understand what I'm saying right now. I mean, UCLA has a $280 million deal, I think, that just got pulled from Under Armour. They had the biggest deal in college sports, okay? Wow. They were recruiting me in middle school once again. So, yeah, that I don't have to say more about it. Like, people need to see this film, and we want this film to go to China and abroad as well. Like, that's my intention, man, because that's like now that's the Mecca for basketball internationally.
Exactly.
They've got over 1.7 billion people. You know what I mean? So they need to see it too. And I know that for me, my life is not my own. It's not what I thought it was going to be. Like I said, it's tough, man. Looking at myself in the mirror every day, like knowing what I lost, I can't get back. I got to stay focused on what's in front of me. And the future's bright when I look in front of me. With all the kids that I'm impacting and the story getting out, you know, it's encouraging.
No doubt. What's most you don't have to because I definitely want to encourage all my viewers to after this, go online, make sure you rent Manchild, make sure you buy the film, get on it, check it out, meditate on it, show it to all the kids, use it as a teaching tool. I think things like this, things like this are a great teaching tool as well. I can see I can see high school coaches watching the film in the theater with their players. I can see college coaches watching it, you know what I'm saying? And discussing it, having some dialogue around it, man, like almost, and using your story almost like a curriculum. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's my intention to be able to go around the country and be able to enlighten people and have the experience after they experience it. So you get two educations, and even in universities, implementing like a course where it's like a prerequisite, things like that. We've had conversations about that, so I'm open to it. So, but it's like for me, getting it out is the key. It's been 4 years. It's been completed. we're finally getting a chance to distribute it, so I'm excited about the reception.
No doubt. Yeah. So you don't have to go into any major detail, but just what are just a few memorable experiences from college. So I don't want to give away too much. I want people to see the film, but just anything you remember from your college days, something that kind of sticks out to you, never forget.
Playing in the Arizona tournament in the preseason and playing against University of Delaware. I remember I had about 38 against them.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun out there. It brought me to a place like when I was in high school. I felt like I could do anything. I was dunking on cats, mid-range, hitting threes, creating for my teammates. I'm blocking shots, just doing what I felt on the court.
No doubt.
I was playing my natural position. This is before the jerk chicken came in, when we got into the conference. But people have to see the documentary
100%
to get that part of it too,
Yes. Yeah. Life after college and your pro career, like what was that? Tell me briefly about life after college.
Man, it was tough. When I didn't get drafted, when I came out of college, 99, 2000, it's like I had to recreate myself. I went to the CBA. I was the last cut in the Sioux Falls Skyforce. And then I went right into Europe in the EuroLeague and had a job with Vlade Divac's team, KK Partizan. We had the same agent, so it was a slam dunk. And the Super League at that time was the second best league in the world next to the NBA. So I felt good about going in there, having confidence in my ability, knowing that I could earn my keep and start making a name for myself internationally.
Uh-huh.
Well, when I played well, I wouldn't play for a couple games. So it was a tough transition playing, abroad. But every year I would get jobs, and whenever I got opportunities, I played well. I just never could find consistency. It was like living out of a duffel bag,
Gotcha.
That's a whole nother grind,
Mm-hmm.
From what my high school experience was to being recruited 4 different times in high school to go to college. I mean, I set milestones by the way I was recruited, the things that happened to me with the SAT stuff. Fully today, because of the Senate Bill 206 that's going into effect in 2023, which I'm most likely going to be a spokesman for here pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
That people need to understand, I'm a reason why a lot of these kids have the opportunity to get paid today, because I was being exploited. They were making money off me when I was making money for them.
Wow.
Every time I stepped on the court, I wear a new pair of sneakers, new pair of Nikes. I mean, I had all the shoes. Not a whole lot wows me these days. I wore the new Jordans, Barclays, every Nike they made. I wore it every game. So,
like I saw that. I forget what year it was for you. I saw that on Wikipedia where it said like the one season you wore a brand new pair of sneakers, like 37 pair of sneakers, like a brand new pair of sneakers for every game. Like if you played 37 games, you wore 37 pair of different sneakers.
Absolutely. And they look forward to giving them to me too. I want people to understand that. So, the highs were high and the lows were really, really low. It's been dark. We're coming out of that. There's a lot of light at the end of this tunnel, and there's a lot of kids to impact. I think in this pandemic, it's really a good time for people to sit down and watch this. I mean, families need to watch it with their kids, not just on the athletic side, just regular people who don't even know who the Manchild is.
100%.
My parents are in here giving bars and gyms and stuff like that. My brother's in here giving up game and stuff. This is real, man. Like, me and my brother have been close for years, and this situation has tore him up internally.
Mm-hmm.
Just me not making it, and him making it, and him knowing that I had the talent to do it, and how things changed when he went to the league. So I want people to see it. Like, I can't encourage them enough. I mean, I'm almost see it soon as this goes off. That fast.
No doubt, no doubt. And so to help me to understand, at what point did you go through all your life, it's all about basketball. You know what I'm saying? You're the best. Like, you're playing in the camps with, against Kevin Garnett and, Kobe Bryant, all these guys, and you're the best. So,
Right.
And then in your mind, it's like, yo, I'm going to do this forever. So take me back to that day where you realized your professional career was kind of coming to a close. And how did you finally, like, close that chapter of your life?
Right around the time I retired, right? I'd say about 30 years old. My daughter Chloe is being conceived. She's 11 now. Right around that time, I said, you know what? I'd rather focus on fatherhood and building my legacy around the game,
Mm-hmm.
And not being so involved like I was before, because it was too heart-wrenching for me.
Mm-hmm.
So around 30 years old, up until now, I basically made a commitment to help everybody that I could, and the youth that really wanted my services, whether it be mentoring or training. I do a lot of individual training now. up and coming kids that aspire to be possibly NBA players, or at least make it D1 and play at a high level. So,
Huh?
you know, whether it's the training I do and the production side, dealing with film with this documentary, I'm a producer on this too. I'm not just
Oh,
the
no
subject.
doubt, no
So,
doubt,
you know
no
what I mean?
doubt. That's
So
what's up,
learning,
man.
yeah, learning that aspect of it, just being a businessman around, a 360, you know, entrepreneur.
Well, I appreciate. I only have a few more questions, but I appreciate the things that you touched on. Bottom line is, the theme. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like what you're saying is one. It was plenty more to SCHEA Cotton than just basketball. That's what you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your parents didn't just raise you to be a basketball player.
No, no. It
It's
just
much
so
more
happened
to
that,
you than that.
yeah, absolutely. It just so happened that the hoop I gravitated to, and I did things because of the gift that I had and the work that I put in, that stood alone. I mean, that's really what gives me this platform right now. Nothing else. There's a lot of guys that was nice that I came out with that nobody talks about anymore.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, and also, like it's plenty more things, almost like entertainment or like being a rapper. And rap, everybody wants to be the rapper, but you didn't realize you can be the producer, you can be the engineer. You know what I'm saying? So with you
Right.
still being involved with the game, now you finding out you love to mentor, you love to teach, you love to train. A
Right.
film, you know what I'm saying? Your love for
Right. Right.
film, being, you know,
Right.
there's so many different things that you can do to contribute to the culture besides just being
Absolutely.
that one, you know what I'm saying? That one that's out there. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Absolutely. We can't play forever. The balls will stop bouncing someday. My body's not the same as it used to be. You know, I feel like I look better than most 42-year-olds, but I'm still 42. You know
I
what I
can
mean?
dig it.
That ain't the new 30 either. So
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, what has your basketball journey taught you? Like, what are some things that you've learned about yourself? What has the game taught you? Some things that you know now that you learned along the way.
that I'm built to last, number one. That I have very few friends. You know, less is more. And my motto, believe in yourself when no one else does.
Mm-hmm. Got you, got you. If you had the opportunity to just imagine if we, you know, one of our favorite, you know, fantasy movies of the '80s, you know, the original Back to the Future, Mark McFly and them. So if you was in the DeLorean right now and you can go back to when you were 10, 11 years old, what would you tell yourself? Like, Shay, get over here, young Shay. I got a message for you from the future. What are a few key things that you would say to yourself back then?
Man, I just would take one play back, man, against Lamar's team. A rebound that I went for, got tied up with Kareem Shabazz and tore my shoulder, because after that, my life changed forever.
Wow. Tell me about that, and then how did that change the trajectory of your life? Like, talk about that.
The experience, I never gave up on a play, so I always wanted to give an effort, and I went for a ball, and I had it. You know, me and him was kind of tied up with it, but I had the inside of the ball, and I tried to rip it out with one hand because I was always strong enough to play and rebound the ball with one hand at times, you know, with a 41-inch vertical leap. So I thought I was safe.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he had grabbed my arm, he was kind of wrapped over underneath my underarm. So I pulled forward, he pulled back, and it snapped out of socket like a drumstick. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was unreal, man. After I realized what happened, I looked at my shoulder and it was dangling like some spaghetti noodle or something. And that was it. I went into state of shock. They took me into the training room. They slid it back in the socket. I
Mm-hmm.
went right to the hospital. You know, they gave me an MRI. It was a complete labral tear right down the middle. Had to have a reconstruction. I
Wow.
wound up sitting out my junior year. I was a McDonald's All-American. I was pegged to play in the game and the whole deal. They took my invitation to play, but they kept the accreditation in place. So I had that title, but you know, there at that point things changed because Barron emerged and Paul Pierce was really starting to gravitate and take off. But at the high school side, all the LA guys that were right below me, they all got a chance to emerge right past. You know, one man's misfortune is another man's gain. So it
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah. Out of curiosity, I mean, really appreciate you being transparent and talking about this because it's young guys that I know now that are in high school. You know, everything seems like the stars are lining up, but when an injury comes or grades, so they're
Right,
sitting out. And some kids they can't mentally take it. They kind of go through a little depression. Like,
right.
how did you deal with that then? And then what? How did you come out of it? How did you cope?
Yeah, I mean, my faith in God, number one. I mean, my family structure, the strength there, just relying on the people that love me for me and not what I did. Like when you step away from the game, when you're done playing, who do you go home to? Like,
Mm-hmm.
people got to really evaluate that. What's their intention on their side as well as your side? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, staying close to my family and, you know, my faith and that hunger that was burning inside. You know, my father that passed, rest in peace, you know, that blood ran through his veins, runs through mine as well. So, you know, we're tireless workers. That cotton blood is something else. You know,
Yeah.
it's not the regular love. I have a lot of family members that have done great things, and this won't be the only thing that I do. I think the documentary is the beginning. There's other stuff that we're working on. You know, there's been talks of a docu-series on my life. I mean,
No doubt.
yeah, there's a lot of different plays. We have a book, a family book that's almost completed, you
Mm-hmm.
know, from my mother's perspective. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's different levels to this. Like, we're not going to stop. I'm not going away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
kids need to understand, just watch it. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to sell you nothing. Just
Yes.
watch it, draw your own conclusion, glean from it to be better and be inspired.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, I just want to take a quick pause. I want to let all the viewers know I appreciate y'all tuning in. You're listening to the voice of the legend, Manchild, SCHEA COTTON. He's gonna continue to plug the documentary. Hey, what we can do is this real quick. I only have like one more question, but I forgot to mention at the top of the hour. We're gonna have a quick little Q&A. I'm gonna just let the
Okay.
viewers, kind of ask you a couple questions and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll just let you close it out. Is that
No
all right?
problem. No problem.
So well, I think Instagram gives us like hour blocks of time to talk. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this one real quick. I'm gonna press end. I'm gonna save it, and then just
Come back
come
in.
right back in like 1 minute.
Okay.
Come right back on.
Okay.
All right.
No problem. No
All
problem.
right.
All right.
Hey, what's the deal, y'all? It's Big Star here. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. This is part two of the second hour of Legends Week. My man SCHEA COTTON. He's giving out plenty of gems, man. So if you tuned in, if you checked out the first hour, I know you've definitely been enjoying yourself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back with SCHEA, and he's actually gonna I'm gonna ask him like one or two more questions, and then we're gonna have our Q&A. I'm gonna allow him to interact with the people and answer some questions directly from you guys. And honestly, if you notice, I didn't want him to go into too much detail, about his story, because he has the movie, the documentary that's currently out right now. So I'm gonna get him to plug it, talk a little bit more about the documentary, and you guys need to see it. You guys need to see it because the story is crazy. And actually, a few of the things that he talked about, like the residuals from his story. One of the things he talked about, him being so young and being extorted by the sneaker companies and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things that are coming down the pike and going to be in place are possibly residuals from players like him. Just like he said a lot of the players are getting paid today like they are, because of individuals like him who kind of paved the way and had to go through certain things. So amazing story, man. So make sure you guys go and check out the film, buy it, rent it, and teach, use it as a teaching tool for sure. Hey, we back. Hey, real quick, just want to shout out some legends. I'm not sure if I'm sure you remember. You see that street bangers right there? That's my man Marv O'Connor. That's
Okay.
Marvin O'Connor.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Marv.
What's up, Marv? That's right.
That's Marv O'Connor, St. Joe's
That's right.
legend
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. What's the boy? Jameer Nelson down there too.
Exactly. That was
Yeah.
Marv with the
Yeah.
braids.
That's
That's
right.
Marv
There you
O'Connor
go.
right
There
there
you
for
go.
sure. Yes,
Shout
sir.
outs.
Hey, so just want to let the viewers know. I just have like one or two more questions, and then I'm gonna let SCHEA. I'm gonna just let you interact with the people, let them ask you some questions directly, and then we'll
Okay.
close it out right there. So one of the things that I wanted to know, like how, because I used to be a family therapist, years ago, so I understand like traumatic events, and then when you have opportunities to kind of like therapy means different things for people. Like the things
Right.
that some people have their spirituality to get them through it. Some people like to talk it out. Some people, keep it inside or whatever. So what I'm getting at is what has this movie and this documentary gone through these experiences? You talking it out and seeing it yourself, reflecting on it, and processing it. What has that done for you therapeutically, if anything? And as far as your healing process through everything that you've been through.
Well, I mean, I think it stores up like that ugly monster every time. Like, yeah, I sit down and I see the doc because I have a chance to see my father in a place where he's just raw, uncut, vulnerable, like, and just spitting game and telling the truth. And he's no longer here. I mean, he's a big part of this piece. Like, his filming all the footage we own. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a delicate
rest in
story.
peace. Rest in peace to your father, man. Rest in
Appreciate
peace.
that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. It's a delicate story. So the
Hmm.
therapy of it is people's response and the overwhelming, that rapport of the
Hmm.
inspiration and the encouragement and things like that. And people saying that they're going to spread the word and they want to show their kids and AAU teams and
Hmm.
whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, it's an American story. Like, with the state of our country, the way things are, there's systemic racism that's obvious throughout this documentary, amongst
Yeah.
other things. And this Section Bill 206 is a big deal. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a Fair Pay to Play Act that was passed by Gavin Newsom, but
Uh-huh.
LeBron was the influence. So a shout out to LeBron James because he was the one that administered, to this opportunity.
Hmm. Yep, yep, for sure, man. All right, so the last question that I have, we got some legends. We got Donnie Carr back in here. We
Shout
got
out to
Mike.
D. Carr.
We got Michael Jordan. We got Pennsylvania's Michael Jordan that played at the
That's right.
University of Penn. We got
That's
the
right.
legends in here, man. So hey, Donnie, Mike Jordan, Marvel Connor, y'all hang out. We're about to get into the Q&A. Y'all start typing some questions for my man Shay. Pick his brain a little bit. Last question, last actually thing I want you to do is for any of the younger players that are watching this right now, you've dropped tons of gems, but just give them a few more gems, man. Just have any advice for some younger players, some from the top guy to the Division III guy, no matter. Give them some advice, man, regarding hoops and life.
Man, work hard, stay faithful to whoever it is that you believe in. Be the best version of yourself every day. Set goals, like build a time management chart. Make yourself accountable for every second of your existence. That way you had that guilt-free time at the end of the day, where you could do things that you want to do because all the business is taken care of. And don't get caught up in reading articles, mixtapes and all of that these days and playing on this AAU team and that AAU team. Just keep honing your skills and showing up when it counts consistently.
No doubt, no doubt. Appreciate those gems, man. So hey, without further ado, people, we got the legend here. We got Manchild here. Start typing some questions. Start asking Shay Cotton some questions right now. Start typing them right now, and as he sees them, he's going to respond. Before while the people are getting their questions together, Shay, plug the movie, plug the documentary real quick. Let them know where they can see it, and do that real quick again.
Yeah, Manchild's available on iTunes, Amazon, and all platforms where you can purchase movies as well as rent them. It's able to rent now. Anybody that sees it, please like, share, comment, rate, and review.
No doubt, no doubt. I got a quick question for you. A random thing. What's it been like for you watching all of the NBA legends and I've been seeing the clips and everything, like seeing guys talking about you, like yo, I was coming up, like this is who I looked up to, he was the guy. What is it
Right.
like seeing all the NBA players talk, reflecting and talking about you?
I think it's a breath of fresh air. It's like, after all these years and feel like they forgot about me now through this documentary, it's an opportunity to be acknowledged, you know what I mean, to be appreciated in a way when it's been a long, hard fought battle. I mean, there's nothing fun about the last 20 that I spent, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
the way it went. It was like, man, I started off real good. The ending was like, it was humiliating to say the
yeah,
least.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I'm thankful that I went through that because it made me a much better man.
Got you. All right, so for Don's 2024, and listen, people, this is your time to start asking my man Shay Cotton some questions before we close out. So for Don's 2024 wants to know, did you play against Baron Davis or Paul Pierce in AAU or summer leagues?
Yeah, I played against Paul actually growing up. I mean, my AAU team beat him for about 6 years straight. He says that in the documentary. So for people that may find that hard to believe, but Barron was a little younger, so he played on the younger K-Swiss squad. So Paul's squad had Kevin Garnett. In the summer, we played against them a memorable game in Vegas and UNLV's North Gym. And that's when I knew KG would be special. He was doing things at 6'11", 7 feet that I had never seen with a different type of motor. And then I'm coming over there like a pit bull off a muzzle. I think I had like 38 that game. We lost by like 7. But, hey, I punched my ticket. I did my job for the day. You can't do it by yourself.
I know that's right. All right, we have my man Olin Chamberlain Jr. And this is the prime example of what I'm talking about. Olin Chamberlain Jr. you'll see the last name. He's a relative of Wilt
That's
Chamberlain.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
He's on his way too.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
little O. That's my guy. So little O wants to know, why didn't you go straight out of high school to the NBA?
Great question, Lil. I think the reason why I didn't go is because I suffered my shoulder injury my junior year, and I just felt the need to prove myself when I came back. You know, so I chose to go to college to show people. I wanted it to be obvious after the injury that I was still better than my competition to make me a surefire first round pick. That's why I chose. Obviously, my last stop was University of Alabama and playing the SEC. You know, it's a power conference playing on ESPN every week. I figured it'd be a no-brainer once I do my thing. So the college thing didn't work, and if I had to do it all over again, like I said, I'd take that playback, and I wouldn't have went for that jump ball with Kareem Shabazz and
Yeah.
tore my shoulder because there would have never been any college.
Got you. Hey, little O, you asked some great questions, so throw a couple more out there, little O. I appreciate that. My man Big D's 5353 wants to know how many different teams did you play for overseas? I guess, or not teams, but different countries did you play in possibly?
I played in about eight or nine different countries, and I played on some of the biggest teams in those countries: Venezuela, Dominican Republic. Played in Serbia, which is formerly known Yugoslavia. Played in Italy. Played in France. Played in Greece. Played in China. You know, all the minor league circuits. I mean, I did the world tour.
No doubt. Marv O'Connor said he doesn't have a question for you, but just the utmost respect for you. He just wanted to throw you some shout out, mad respect for you.
Appreciate that. Love, Marv.
Yeah. Donnie Carr, the legend Donnie Carr asks, when the NCAA kept denying you your eligibility over and over again, what did that do to you mentally at the time?
It made me upset. You know, I was on a tear. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to hoop. I was like, wherever I got to play, I'm going to show my stuff. And that's just what it was. I had like this, the chip that I had on my shoulder turned into like a boulder. You know, and it was like, okay, they're trying to deny me the right to showcase my ability amongst the other best. Mm-hmm. So everywhere I went at that point, it didn't matter. Like I had very little patience for nonsense. I was already locked in. I felt like, you know, I was so small in prep school because I went from UCLA, basically playing in Beverly Hills Westwood, to St. Thomas More. No knock to them, but it's a much different experience. So it really tested my inner drive. You know, when I went through that experience going to prep school, not choosing to go to JUCO right out of high school when things didn't work out, it tested how bad did I want to make it and how good was I really? Because now I'm in the knapsack playing on the East Coast against all these guys that I never really played against growing up, with the exception of a few players that played AAU ball, you know. So I had to make a name for myself all over again. And I think mentally, that's what helped me become the man that I am today, because all the stuff that was taken from me, it built a different level of toughness.
Got you. And in the same token, two-part question, he wanted to know mentally along the same theme, what did it do for you, knowing that you could have played at UCLA with Baron Davis, but being teammates with him, but then that was, shifted.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, because we played with each other, on occasions through high school and like the city classic stuff, things like that. And we had fun together because he was a hell of a talent and could really pass the ball. And I was a great teammate. I didn't mind passing. And, you could throw it anywhere around the cylinder. I'm going to go get it. So we used to have fun, But outside of that, it was a disappointment because it was what could have been that never was. And I think UCLA went to the Sweet 16 that year. And I felt like if I was on that squad, we would have probably won it all.
Wow, that's powerful, man. D. Bracy wants to just reflecting on something. He said he remembers seeing you play at the BBC Classic in Boston. He said he thinks that's what it was called. It was you and Baron Davis on the same team against Monty
Boston
Black
Shootout.
and Shea Fields.
Yeah, Boston Shootout.
Okay,
Yeah,
Boston Shootout. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. We were playing in the Fleet Center, and then the other game was at BU when I played against Meta. But the one in the Fleet Center, I was going to work. It was me, Baron Davis, Chris Burgess, the Collins twins, and various other players on that team from California. At that time, I was the #1 dog.
Wow. Donnie Carr also wanted to know, I think you touched on it a little bit. How good do you think you could have been or would have been, playing on the same backcourt with Baron Davis?
Oh, man. I mean, let's put it like this. Magic, as good as Magic Johnson was, he made guys like Byron Scott look way better.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So like that would have went both ways.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? Like as unselfish and talented as he was, I was matching it because I used to like to pass too. You
No
know,
doubt.
in my vision, no look pass, and I got that from Magic. So, you know, there was a certain level of charisma I think that we both had, and a cohesiveness when we played on the court. We just kind of played instinctively, and we read each other. So that would have been special. But I think that's why it went the way it went. They knew it was like too good to be true, so they had to break it up.
Yeah, wow. That almost seemed like, man, I mean, like what, like hearing like the whole breakdown of like the NCAA blocking and just, making things difficult was reminds me of like some Jim Crow type stuff, man. Like,
Yeah, well,
man,
yeah, like I said, systemic racism. Listen, I went to
100%, man.
school. You know, I'm not no clown. You know, I know about the Cornerstone Speech, 1861. It talks about, they're stating that, the black man is not equal to the white man, and all these type of things, and these systemic problems that we're having that are reoccurring over and over again. In 2020, after all this time, we should be further ahead. College athletes should have been paid long time ago. They should have been
Hmm.
getting paid long time ago. I'm so thankful that they have the opportunity to draw money from outside sponsorships and things like that, even while they're in college, because they're making millions for the institution and the coaches.
100%, 100%. Duck215 wants to know, give us your top Matter Day players of all time.
Uh, Tom Tom Lewis, Matt Beazer, LeBron Ellis, Miles Simon, myself, Kevin Augustine, Stanley Johnson, Devin Askew as of late.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. What do you think, preserve, put SCHEA Cotton in a time machine your sophomore, junior year, and then open the time machine right now, 2020, 21. What do you think, what type of havoc you think you'd be wreaking across the
Oh, it's not even fair, man. It wouldn't even be fair. Let me tell you. First of all, with social media, I broke the internet, and
Yes.
I'd average 60 against these dudes because they don't play no defense, and they wouldn't want to see me anyway. So, you know, hey, I'm glad that I was born when I was born because I feel like we the last of the Mohicans, if you know what
Yeah.
I mean, like through and through.
Hmm.
It's about the resilience, man. It's really about pushing through the difficulties in life. That's when you know what you're made of, not when everything's going good.
Yeah, yeah. What's one time? And I'm gonna let you go soon. What's the most fun you think you ever had with basketball? At what level? And what was the time period? What was going on in your life? Just when you at those times when you was going to bed at night, throwing the ball up at the ceiling, just daydreaming. What was the most fun you were having, and at what point in your life you think?
Man, in high school playing at MATER DEI, won the state title in '95. Man, that year was just like a magical year. I had all the gear. They was sending stuff to the house every week, big, huge boxes, gear, shoes, everything. Couldn't go nowhere, like living in a fishbowl. Couldn't even go to the movie theater wearing my high school stuff because I'm getting,
Wow.
trampled, and people's hitting me up on the phone wanting me to train them. Having a personal deal with Nike without the money, being able to, rub shoulders with all the people at the executive table. I mean, these are things that people can't comprehend today because of the magnitude of social media. But
Hmm.
understand, my parents weren't basketball people. So it
Uh-huh.
wasn't like Kobe had his dad who hooped and made it to the league and played in Italy and internationally and could give him the game. I didn't
Yeah.
have that. My
Uh-huh.
pops had a family at 15 years old, grew up on the east side of LA, went to Gompers Junior High School, LA Fremont High School. I mean, really, really, really grew up in the trenches. So,
Uh-huh.
my family came up in this city. It isn't just, oh, I came up in the suburbs, this and that. LA Harbor area ain't no party either. It's
Uh-huh.
not Compton, it's not Watts, but believe me, you got to watch your back. So,
100%.
you learn things along the way, I think, in life, and then we have education from the classroom, and then we have stuff we learn in our home from our
Uh-huh.
parents, and I glean more to my family structure than a lot of other stuff because it was like fool's gold. People was leading you down a one way.
Got you, got you, got you. Donnie Carr has another good question. What do you think your worth would have been if college players were getting paid in your day?
Well, I mean, I know it's probably a six-figure situation for them, so I would like to think that I'd be, upward north somewhere. So, you know, yeah, I mean, look, man, when I was gonna go to Long Beach State, every game was gonna be on TV. Okay,
Yeah,
it was gonna be ESPN and Fox Sports every
yeah,
single game.
no
So
doubt.
when I left there, my life changed. You
Yeah,
figure it out. You know what I
no
mean?
doubt, no
And I
doubt.
want them to see the documentary so they can get a bar of it, in a 75-minute reel, but understand that it's snippets of my life. It's not the elongated version.
No doubt. One of the last questions from the people. Were you a varsity player in ninth grade?
Most definitely.
Got you. Got you. All right. One last thing I want to know, and then I'm gonna let you close it out with any last words and everything. Um, I know what it's like. The city of Philadelphia is struggling right now with like kids ain't playing really like hooping in playgrounds anymore. Neighborhood courts because of the gun violence. Straight
Right.
bullets flying around. Things have changed, man. Like recently, I think a kid in New York just graduated. On his way to play Division I ball, just got killed. It's crazy. So what was it like for you coming up in California? Back then with the gang culture and all that kind of stuff. And what were some of the things you had to navigate, and then how did basketball kind of keep you away from some things?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, just ducking gunfire, not, shootouts, and try not to get packed out on your way home from school. People chasing you home with knives and bats and different things like that, different neighborhoods, just because you live in a certain area. And you might have to walk through that neighborhood going home, or, catch a bus and you're getting off at a certain bus stop near your house, and you just happen to live in a certain area. So you're being harassed every day. So, and then getting to the point where you start honing your skills and take you away from the neighborhood. You start seeing more, and coming back to it with a different perspective. Like, I was going to visit family members in jail in the penitentiary, going all through school,
Mm-hmm.
and was getting that education to see, like, yeah, everybody want to go for bad, but when it get bad, everybody start crying. Like, it get
Yeah,
real.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't care how tough you think you are. Hey, believe me, the toughest ones is dead and in jail. So
No doubt.
I didn't have to repeat that cycle. I got a chance to see it on the fly from young. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
the gang banging and the drugs in the late '80s and the early '90s was way, way tougher than it is right now. Today it's more like glamorized, so it's just kind of like everywhere.
Yeah,
Back
yeah, yeah,
then it was like centralized. You knew if you go into this neighborhood, it could end up bad for you. I
yeah.
don't care who you are. If you don't go in with the right person, you might not come out.
No doubt, no
And,
doubt.
and understanding, like, our city, Los Angeles as a whole, has probably over 500 street gangs.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about that in the epicenter of, I don't know, 20 miles.
Mm.
That's not a lot of property for those
Wow,
numbers. So you got to think, you pull up at the wrong gas
that's
station,
crazy.
you lose your life. It could be fatal. Just pumping gas,
Yeah.
and that's it. You got the
Mm-hmm.
wrong colors on. You flagging the wrong way, it could be over for you. So, and I
Wow.
I maneuver in this city today, and I got family on both sides. I love my people though, man. Like, I don't come with none of that energy. It's about who wants the service, who's really bringing the right energy, the right vibration. Otherwise, I'm gone anyway.
I know that's right. I know
Yeah,
that's right, man. Just staying in your lane.
that part.
Last thing. I mean, I know I keep saying last question, but one more good question
All right,
popped up.
all right.
We're gonna end it with Donnie Carr. We're gonna end it with the legend Donnie Carr.
My man.
Donnie Carr wanted to know, wow, this is crazy. How did it feel being on the cover of Sports Illustrated in ninth grade? I didn't know you was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in ninth grade.
Yeah, I mean, words couldn't express, D. I mean,
Wow.
after that, it was like, well, where do I go from here? I was still driven because I was constantly setting the bar for myself. But at that point, I was like, man, I arrived to that top that I always looked forward to. I mean, the YouTube and stuff didn't stand up to Sports Illustrated back then because
Yeah.
there was none of that. So it
Uh-huh.
was like all the focus was on this. And when I got there, it was like I had the bullseye on my back. Everybody came gunning for me, and my
Mm.
life changed forever. So it was a state of elation, and then it was like unforeseen adversity that came with
Gotcha.
that.
Gotcha. All right. So one more time, plug the movie because somebody else had asked. They may have just jumped on. Talk about the documentary real quick. Talk about where they can see it.
Okay.
Everybody watching this, if you just jump through from Raw Sports Films, make sure you follow SCHEA Cotton's Instagram page. Find SCHEA Cotton on Twitter and talk about the documentary, Shay, and where they can buy it and rent it at.
Documentary Manchild, the SCHEA Cotton story is a story about my life. Los Angeles childhood prodigy, a can't miss fire for the NBA, first round draft pick, went undrafted. Uh, Life has been circuitous up until this point, and it's a big part of the story. It's more of an enigma. You can find the Manchild documentary right now on iTunes, Amazon, all platforms where you can purchase movies as well as rent them. And you can get Manchild merch at therealmanchild.com, which is my website.
I definitely got to get me a size extra large man child
Absolutely.
t-shirt, and I got to get you some Raw Sports gear too, man.
Real talk. I'm with you.
I already
Absolutely.
know, no doubt. So any last words, anything that you want to mention that I didn't ask you, anything, any gem you want to give to the people, or anything? It's your show, that will be done.
Man, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Anybody that was listening in, thank you for your time. Be inspired. We need more love and kindness in these times, and we need to be good to our brothers and sisters, man. More importantly, I think we need to stop killing each other and start uniting. I think our weakest link is our lack of unity as a race in the black community. So I want that to be said. I love all my people, and I appreciate the opportunity, Raw Sports.
You already know, man. Thank you so much for your time, Shay. God bless you, man. Man of God. Continue
Right
to
back at you.
inspire the youth. Continue to inspire, I mean, you individuals like yourself are so dynamic, man. You have so much to offer, and you're so articulate.
Thank you.
It's a really unique gift to be able to express what's in your heart and what's on your mind, and to share it with people in a way that draws people in, man. So that's a gift that you have. You have an aura about yourself. I can tell already, man. So just like you said, one thing I learned about life is, one, just like you said, it's not about us. And when you go through adversity and then you come out of it, you look at your life in perspective, you realize, man, this wasn't about me this whole time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it's much more to you. It's much more that God has for you besides dribbling the basketball. Like, it's just the beginning for you, man. So you can keep flying high, man. And I look forward to seeing you in Hollywood. You
Nah, I'm coming to
understand?
Philly. We're gonna have a cheesesteak, man.
Oh,
When I
say
get off
that.
this vegan,
Done
when I
deal.
get off this vegan
I
challenge,
already
I'm on,
know.
man. Yeah,
You
yeah,
already
yeah.
know.
Hey,
My
you
man,
named it.
my man Marv O'Connor he got a cheesesteak spot. Shout out to the Freshworks cheesesteak spot.
Real talk, real talk. Yeah. Hey, let's stay close, boy. I appreciate it, man.
Yes,
Love to you.
sir. Yes, sir. God bless you, man. So I'm gonna definitely be. I'm gonna continue to pump the documentary, man. I'm gonna continue to help you get the word out there. We definitely got to stay in contact. I'm gonna get you some gear, man, so we can exchange.
Absolutely.
Get you all the stuff you need. All right,
Absolutely.
my
Much
man. God
love to
bless you,
you.
buddy. All right.
Appreciate you. Right back at you.
Yes, sir.